Hi everyone, it's Jenny at JC Cards, and I'm excited to be joining you today as part of the Altenew November 2019 release. This video accompanies a blog post which I've linked to in the description box below, and it's part of a blog hop showcasing the release. I'm pleased to be a guest designer on this hop, and today I'm going to be showcasing the Mix and Match Mariposa Die Set. It's an awesome set. I just love it. So versatile. It's got 5 solid butterfly dies and 3 sort of intricate layered over the top dies, and you'll see you can mix and match them as the name would imply, use them together, use them in any combination you want to. You can also use them separately. Today I'm going to be using the solid dies to actually dry emboss my cardstock. I've got an A2 size panel here of teal cardstock. You'll see that the technique I use today, this will work with any coloured cardstock you want to use. I particularly love this colour, but any dark cardstock will be perfect for this technique, and I have run them through my die cutting machine using an embossing mat, a tan mat, and an embossing plate. So I use for my machine, that's the combination sandwich. Your machine might be slightly different, and it'll just create an impression of those butterfly dies that I've arranged on the panel without cutting all the way through. I'm then using some Altenew gold mirror cardstock and die cutting the intricate dies. I've actually cut 4 of these, so I cut 2 of the same die, so I cut 1 twice, I should say. Now, for some interest, I'm going to add some splatters. I'm using the Altenew Antique Gold spray, and I'm going to add some big drops just by flicking on the spray nozzle over the cardstock. I'm using a box that I had kicking around that I like to use for my splatter box. And then to add a little bit more interest, I'm going to actually spritz the spray just directly over where the embossing is in a few places, and then dry it with my heat tool. And this shows you, I mean, it's already looking really pretty. That gold over the dark teal cardstock is just gorgeous, and it would work perfectly with red or dark pink, anything. The gold butterflies will basically go with any colour. But I wanted to darken it up a bit around the edges, give it a bit more drama. So I'm using 2 shades of blue ink. I'm using Distress ink. I didn't have any Altenew blue ink, unfortunately, but you can use any ink you want to. I'm using 2 different shades of dark blue, just going around the edge with a blender brush, and then blending it in towards the center, but leaving some of that teal cardstock visible. And then, because I lost a little bit of the gold splatter, I'm just coming back in, this time with a small paintbrush to make more fine splatters, just adding a little bit around the edges where it had been covered up by the ink. I'm going to add some dimension with some coloured craft foam. I'm using dark blue just to coordinate with the teal cardstock, and this is sticky craft foam, so just to adhere it down to my white note card, I've added some double-sided adhesive as well. Now, to add the gold die cuts, I'm going to add them just in the centres with some liquid adhesive. So I'm just adding a touch of strong liquid adhesive down the butterfly's body, and then I'm going to slightly curve up those wings before I add my die cut over the top. And the best way I find to add these so they line up is to use the antenna of the butterflies, line those up, and you will see it covers it perfectly. And it does cover up the dry embossing a little bit, but when I hold up the card, you'll see at the end, you can see that dry embossing. It just adds a really nice bit of interest to the card. For my sentiment, I'm using the new Plentiful Pine stamp set, which has some really nice sentiments in it. You could use this for holiday cards. There are holiday sentiments. There's also Happy Birthday, and this sentiment here, they're not particularly Christmassy. It's really good sentiments for all year round. And I'm using some navy cardstock, and I'm going to heat emboss it in gold and then trim it out and pop it up on foam squares onto my card. I was going to directly heat emboss it onto the cardstock, but I couldn't get it dry enough. The embossing powder kept sticking where I didn't want it to on that ink blending. So I decided to pop it up on navy cardstock, and I think it still works. That navy cardstock ties in perfectly with the ink around the edges. And then just to finish it off, I added some big gold blingy sequins. And that finishes my card. I hope you've enjoyed. If you did, I've linked to a couple more videos you may want to check out on my channel. Don't forget to click that bell if you want to be reminded when I have new videos out. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have an awesome day. Bye.